Is it Super Bowl Sunday yet? It feels like it, because apparently we were supposed to get a Knuckles trailer during the Super Bowl, but do they even air things right on the Super Bowl anymore? I feel like it's just, they just show these commercials beforehand just to get some pre-Super Bowl hype. I'm not sure. But fact of the matter is, we finally got a trailer for the Knuckles TV show coming to Paramount Plus, and I don't know about you, but I think it looks really good. What do you think, Tris? I'm excited.
From the very first few clips in this trailer where you see the little sign, the little gold sign start spinning and it plays a sound effect, I saw that and went, oh, this is gonna be good.
Yeah,
they're having fun with it.
Yeah, and it kind of feels like Sonic the Hedgehog 2.5, at least from my perspective. Naturally, I feel like we've come to expect, a little less production value from shows. But nowadays, studios are just pouring a lot of money into these shows. Oftentimes, it feels like more money than the movies. And this definitely looks like it doesn't look any worse than the movies. It's filmed in that widescreen format we all love. The CGI just looks absolutely stunning as usual. And it looks really good. I'm very excited for what this show is going to have in store for us. Let's talk about it a little bit. We already knew the plot beforehand of Knuckles and Wade is his name, I believe.
Yeah.
They're kind of buddy cop sort of deal going on here. We see them up here and there together, but it also doesn't seem like the main point of the show. It feels like kind of a side plot, but there's a villain here. What's his name? The Buyer is what he's
the Buyer.
So far, he's known as the Buyer, right? But what gets me is he's he's played by Rory McCann, I believe his name is, who is infamous for being the Hound from Game of Thrones. So to see him go into this role, playing somebody who used to actually work for Robotnik, which I'm getting some Tony Stark sort of vibes here, Marvel Cinematic Universe. I used to work for Tony Stark, but he called my thing Barf, so I'm just gonna be a villain now. So really cool stuff. Tris, what do you think of all that?
I think it's interesting to see how this is how they're introducing villains other than Robotnik. I actually really like the idea of, because obviously we know Jim Carrey's going to eventually retire. We thought he was going to be coming back for Sonic Movie 3, but surprise, he is. I like how they're using this to introduce, there are other geniuses out there. There are other people that, whether they have relation to Robotnik or not, want this power from Sonic and friends and can be a threat to them. And from what we see in this trailer, he kind of presents a threat. It actually reminds me of some of the battles against Eggman you find in some of the 3D Sonic games, from what we see little snippets of here. And I kind of like that, kind of spreading that role out a bit to more threats.
I really like that too. Paramount really is trying to make this their own cinematic universe kind of deal. And I know that trend is kind of just becoming too much, We've seen other cinematic universes try and fail, but the way Paramount Plus is doing it, or Paramount in general is doing it, it's yes, it's still the Sonic universe. We're not trying to make it a Smash Bros universe and bring in characters that have no relation, but they're expanding. There's rumors of a Shadow spinoff coming soon too, which we don't know for sure if it will be a movie or a show in and of itself, but I love the way that they're establishing this universe. And they're bringing in other villains, original ones too. This is not, from what we know, a villain that we've seen in other Sonic media. This is someone completely new. But speaking of universe, I need to ask you, Tris, about this character whose name escapes me. It's another echidna that I think was in Sonic Adventure. The name very much
Pachacamac.
Pachacamac. What is he doing here? What he's at a bowling alley? What's going on?
Yeah, especially since it's not some other random echidna. It's Pachacamac, who in Sonic Adventure is the leader of the Knuckles clan, the echidna clan that unleashes chaos. That is, he's Tikal's father in the lore normally. I think here in the movies he's just the leader of the clan that Knuckles comes from. So the leader of the echidnas that were attacking Sonic and his mother, the owl, whose name escapes me.
Longclaw, I think.
Longclaw, yes, thank you. So I guess he's a leader of the clan that was attacking Longclaw in this version of it all. But seeing him here in the bowling alley is very strange because it begs the question of, is this setting up for Sonic Movie 3 when we see Shadow and why it turns out, Sonic isn't the first of these, I guess aliens technically to be on Earth. Like, were the other echidnas actually here too, beyond Knuckles? Is Knuckles not the last of his kind? Or is this all in Knuckles' head? Like, he's not actually there. Knuckles is like projecting someone to talk to, and he just projects someone from his clan. And they just show up in a humorous way. Like,
I like to think this is him tripping. Like, this is a tripping scene in the bowling alley, and he's just hallucinating, and he sees...
I mean...
yeah.
It's possible, because we see... There's another clip in here that makes no sense in the middle of the trailer, where there's like a music performance in the middle of the bowling alley.
Oh, yeah.
Which also just feels really strange. So it could just be one giant trip, honestly.
I don't know. The more I think about it, the more I think, like, maybe there's a point where Knuckles does, like, warp back to his world, and, like, then he meets Pachank. What's his name again?
Pachacamac?
Pachacamac? I will never know. I will always have to ask you. But, yeah, maybe then he comes in and helps Knuckles at the end, and then he's just like, I got a job at the bowling alley. I don't know. But, yeah, it's very bizarre. But people are speculating. I think you saw a Wikipedia article about this. Like, this character is probably voiced by Christopher Lloyd. Maybe.
Yep. He's confirmed to be involved in the movie in some way.
Yes.
We didn't see him anywhere in the trailer. I'm not sure how people have attached his name to Pachacamac, but it would kind of make sense. He kind of plays that older, quirky kind of characters, and seeing this old echidna chief in a bowling outfit, I mean, that just screams quirky old man, so...
It really does, yeah. So I feel like that part makes sense. But there's a few actors that we know are involved that we haven't seen in this trailer. One of them is also Carrie Elwes, who you may know as Wesley from The Princess Diaries, As You Wish, that sort of deal. And we didn't see him in this trailer, but we know the character he plays. He's like a 27-time winning bowling champion or whatever. There's a lot of bowling in this trailer.
There's a lot of bowling.
So Knuckles even turns into a ball on the alley. The lane, whatever it's called. But yeah, there's lots of bowling going on here, and there's somebody from Greece. I forget her name. She's not in this trailer either. But yeah, there's still a lot more to see from this show than what the 2.5-minute trailer does. For one, the show is going to be a lot longer than a movie. It's going to be 6 episodes, I believe, starting with episode 1 on April 26th. So yeah, is there anything else that stands out to you about this Knuckles trailer? Anything like that maybe surprised you? I'll tell you what, though, I was surprised to see Sonic and Tails. I didn't think they were going to be in the show at all.
Yeah, I imagine they're only going to be in the first episode.
Probably.
Like, I think the first episode is going to kind of explore Knuckles' life at the Wachowski's house, and then him being like, you know what? I need an adventure. I'm going out. And then that's all we see of them. Maybe we get like one scene at the very, very end of the whole show when he's recapping the adventure to them, but that's probably it. Otherwise, I mean, he either goes out on an adventure or Maddie kicks him out for making too much of a mess around the house. I don't know.
That poor house. Like, that poor house. Well, Sonic, we've established that Sonic can clean things up really fast, so that's helpful.
Yeah, that's true.
But like Knuckles just turning that living room into a death pit. I'm just like, if this happened in my house, I would have a panic attack. Like, but at this point,
yeah, like the mailman is.
Yes, that poor mailman. Knuckles is a criminal. Speaking of criminals, like, we see him, I did a short video about this just now. We see him ride a motorcycle in this. You gotta think that he's gonna give that motorcycle to Shadow, or he'll damage that motorcycle and Shadow will ride another one. I don't know. I feel like you're establishing something, Paramount, and it's just like, if Knuckles can ride a motorcycle, why can't my boy Shadow please make that dream come alive?
They better. You can't do this and then not have Shadow ride it. Like, come on. Even if it's like Shadow steals it from Knuckles at some point in the movie. Like, come on.
I feel like he maybe steals that motorcycle from whoever, like, he was using it at the end of the trailer, where they lasso Wade, and poor Wade just spills his entire cup of coffee and he's being dragged. Like that. Everything
happens to Wade in this trailer because he's with Knuckles. Like, his house gets like destroyed because these people are here searching for Knuckles. He's just trying to go bowling, and like the bowling alley's getting destroyed because people have shown up looking for Knuckles. Like, this poor guy.
I'm very curious as to why Knuckles is very important to these people and not Sonic. Like, what is it about him? Like his power specifically, because they've said, like, they're trying to get his power. What is it about his power specifically that the buyer wants? One of his henchmen, by the way, is Kid Cudi, which is kind of funny to me. I don't know why.
Yeah, what's interesting too is based on the casting, the two of them, the two henchmen are named Agent Mason and Agent Willoughby, implying they're like FBI agents or something. So they're not,
or they're working
just
for
henchmen.
Gunn or something.
Like they're working for like some greater reason, working with this villain. Probably not what they want to be doing, but evidently it's what they are doing. I suspect come the end of the movie, they'll actually swap sides and work with Knuckles, realizing, wait, we can't just give you away.
Yeah, I just love how they have their own superpowered gear, like that giant hand, that giant Hellboy hand.
It's powered by his little quill. You see, like their whole equipment, like everything kind of comes together, wired up to this one like quill that's attached to their chest.
Which I'm sure they probably found in the wreckage of Sonic the Hedgehog 2's battle, I'm sure.
Yeah, that's probably where they all came from. But we saw how much one of Sonic's quills did for Robotnik in those movies. So there's a decent amount of Knuckles here that I'm sure, it may not be specifically Knuckles' power over the others. It may simply be that they can get Knuckles more readily because he's not as fast as Sonic.
That's true. Yeah, I mean, the echidna's got to drive a motorcycle to get to point A to point B. And he also has to get Wade to drive him places. Like, what's the trope of animated characters getting driven by fully adult men that are live action?
It's kind of great. Something about it.
Yeah, you can't replace that. You really can't. It's really cool, but I am impressed by what we saw of the Knuckles trailer. Of course, I think it looks very fun. It looks very action-packed. The brief shot that sticks out to me was him fighting that giant mech, which I think is piloted by the buyer. I'm just like, we're getting RoboCop 2 up in here. Like, that's how big this climax is about to be.
And that really feels like something out of a Sonic game, like one of your many myriad boss battles against Robotnik. Like, so I kind of like that. It feels like they're really like taking that idea and adapting it here. What makes me most curious about it is that whole sequence is in front of, I think it's called like the bowling champion like venue or something like that. Like it's a giant venue, like a stadium for the bowling event. So that's where that is. But the whole layout of like the city, like the lights and everything there, it reminds me of the casino area in Station Square in the original Sonic Adventure.
Oh, yeah.
And between those and Pachacamac being here, I feel like if Sonic the Hedgehog 3 is exploring Sonic Adventure 2, this actually might explore a lot of ideas from Sonic Adventure 1.
Oh.
I don't know if we'll actually see Chaos show up here. As cool as that would be and keeping him secret, I think this is more so to further establish the Echidnas, since they play a major role in the backstory and everything.
That's for sure. And we got Pachacamac, or whatever his name is. Did I say it right? I'm impressed if I did. But yeah, that's an interesting point. And we know this with this I feel like we know this bowling alley at this point is set in Reno because the episodes got leaked, and two of them, or one of them at least, has Reno in the title. What happens in Reno stays in Reno. So they're going to be going to Reno for some reason. There's a lot to guess here. Like, why is the bowling like a big part of all this? It's very bizarre stuff, but that's what the show is for. I like how we know. I like how we know basically the premise. Like, we know there's a villain out here trying to get Knuckles' power, and that's really about it. Everything else is just like okay, there's bowling, there's more bowling, and there's motorcycles, and Knuckles has a cowboy hat. How does he get that hat? That's what I want to know.
Man, that's a good question. How does he get that hat? I'm glad he gets the hat. It has such like a small appearance rate in Sonic games, in general Sonic media.
Yeah.
But I'm so happy it's like tied to his character. It just looks great.
Yeah, the one time I remember him wearing it was in that direct-to-video Sonic anime movie.
Yeah. I think that's like originally where it's from too. I think it might have made appearances as costumes in some games after that. But like that Sonic like OVA, like that's where it's from.
It's very cool stuff. But any final thoughts on Knuckles before we close out this discussion?
Before we had this trailer, my thoughts on getting the Knuckles show was, it'll be exciting getting more of this IP and seeing what they want to do with it. But the main hype was towards, Sonic the Hedgehog 3 and getting Shadow.
Yeah.
Actually seeing a bit of what they're doing here, I'm genuinely excited for this now. Like, I think it's going to be a fun time.
I'm excited too, exactly. Yeah, I was like, when I first heard about this Knuckles show before Sonic the Hedgehog 2 came out. That's how long it's been.
Yeah.
So it's finally seeing what we're in for here does make me more excited, because just all it was for the past 2 years was like talk, and I'm like, no more talking. Just show me.
Just show
You're
me.
doing a lot of this. I want you to do this. And show me. Yeah, but I'm excited for Knuckles. You're excited for Knuckles. We're all excited for Knuckles. Let me know in the comments. Are you excited for Knuckles? Are you excited for bowling with Carrie Elwes? Tell me in the comments. And until next time, bye-bye.